Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. In today's video, we are going to be discussing a severe weather outbreak here that's going to be happening in the northern Midwest on Saturday. This may bring tornadoes, this may bring severe winds, and also may bring large hail to the northern Midwest. We also have severe weather possible today in New England for, again, the possibility for tornadoes, winds, and hail that we'll all be discussing in today's video. Today's outlook up there in the New England area, we do have a slight risk for severe thunderstorms. We also have two other slight risks over there in the southeast. This is where you can be expecting severe weather throughout this afternoon and evening. We do in fact have a tornado risk up there in New England. This is only a 2% chance, but we have gotten tornado warnings already in that 2% chance, so definitely would stay weather aware, especially for the possible spin-up tornadoes within those storms today. We do have a wind risk of 15% chance here for pretty much all the risks today here for 60-mile-per-hour winds and higher in those storms. Again, in all those slight risks, and we do have a 5% chance for a marginal risk over here in the Central Plains. Nothing serious, but definitely a lot of places to keep an eye on for severe weather today and tonight. Tomorrow we will have a marginal risk for severe weather across the Midwest, going even into the Mid-Atlantic, again for isolated severe storms. So far no tornado risk for tomorrow, but we do in fact have those chances for damaging winds and hail. Nothing serious yet, but if a slight risk does get issued for tomorrow, I will mention it in tomorrow's video. Now lastly, here's day 3. This was originally a 15% chance on day 4, which is now an enhanced risk for severe weather, what was issued this morning from that day 4 outlook. So this is day 3. This definitely could be upgraded in future outlooks. Considering this is day 3, we still have 2 days for upgrades and expansions and then in this enhanced risk. So I think I have to watch a very close eye on this, as this definitely could be one of those severe weather outbreaks, one of those summer severe weather outbreaks, even a long line of storms event, maybe even a derecho. We're not sure yet, but this definitely could be a serious severe weather event that could be unfolding this weekend. This is pretty much what we'll be discussing in today's video. This is pretty much what we'll be discussing in terms of models. And as you can see, let's go ahead and look at our future radar for Saturday. Now, this is the NAM 3km model. This is the only short-term model we have right now that actually has high resolution for Saturday, and we're not getting the full loop for Saturday yet. In tomorrow's video, we will have the full loop on the NAM 3km model, even possibly the HRRR model. We might have some of that too. But as you can see, this is Saturday around 8 a.m. and we're already seeing some very strong storms over there in southwestern Minnesota. We can move forward here. As you can see, we head throughout 9 a.m. And even through 10 a.m. where we see this very strong cell go throughout southern Minnesota here. This definitely could warrant some severe thunderstorm warnings for those very strong storms in southern Minnesota. That continues to go through southern Minnesota, going into northern Iowa here by around lunchtime, so around 12 p.m. Central. This will be heading through Iowa, going into Wisconsin here. And look at that storm. That is definitely turning into some sort of a line of storms, which may bring that damaging wind threat, of course. Again, not sure yet on the tornado risk, but it definitely could be a substantial tornado risk as it does go south here. This is going to be around 3 p.m. Central as it heads throughout southern Wisconsin, even into portions of northern Illinois here throughout the mid-afternoon hours. So around 4 p.m. here, 5 p.m. starts heading throughout portions of northern Illinois near the Rockford area. And as you can see, this gets really strong here as you head throughout the night hours. This is about, and then we get to around 6 p.m. It still goes throughout northern Illinois, but as you can see at the end of the loop, we get to around 6 p.m. We start to see some of these cells here in northern Iowa. We might have to closely watch for a bigger tornado threat throughout those evening hours. Again, we can't go any further right now. In tomorrow's video, we will be able to go further in the models. As of right now, the NAM 3km model is definitely hinting to possibly some supercells popping up in the evening hours in northern Iowa Iowa, north of Des Moines, that may pose that supercellular possible tornado threat here. So again, we're going to have to watch out very closely here. Storm relative helicity is relatively high around this area, around 6 p.m. when these storms are starting to fire. As you can see, a little bit of a pocket there of 215. As you can see down here, you get more deeper storm relative helicity. Look at surface base Cape around this time. As you can see, we are seeing some very high Cape values, especially where that cluster of storms is expected to develop around 6 p.m. We are seeing upwards of 5,031 joules per kilogram. We're talking over around 5,300 joules per kilogram over here in extreme northern Iowa. And look at that, kind of a donut type signature where those storms are expected to develop. Right there, you can see kind of that Cape kind of disappearing, kind of a hole in that energy as those storms do take up that energy. As you can see, surface-based lifted index is again very high in this region. So this could definitely be a very, again, favorable region for tornadoes. And as you can see, bulk shear around 0 to 6 kilometers. And this is literally right at the surface here. You're seeing upwards of 67 knots. 67 knots at near the surface. This is typically what you'd take sounding at. As you can see, we have 30 shear according to the sounding around a surface 3 kilometer. So not a ton of shear. This might not have a huge tornado threat. As we look at the photograph here, we don't see much of a curvature. As you can see, it is kind of a blocky here, which means we might not see a big tornado threat with this. We, of course, have that possible hazard type as a tornado. As we take this over here, you can see that Cape is upwards of 4,283. We have a cap there on -64, which again means that we do have some cap in there that may prevent storms from developing in that sort of region. So definitely a event is gonna unfold here across the Midwest region, across the Corn Belt on Saturday in the evening hours. We might see an event, we might not, just depending on cap. If there is cap, there is a chance where those storms could break the cap and they could start developing like crazy, or that cap just might limit off those storms in the evening hours. So stay tuned for more updates. We will have more updates from the models here in the Weather Center. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and turn on post notifications for more updates on this. Again, we will have full models tomorrow. We will have full coverage of this on the channel, so make sure to turn on post notifications. Share this video with any friends or family that may want this information for the upcoming severe weather outbreak. But as always, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.